Hi, church family. I have an important question for you today. Can you be bought? I recently had the opportunity to spend some time with my family in Alabama. We had some great conversations around the dinner table. One of our conversations was about some of the times that my brother has dared others to eat something new. He told his daughter he would give her $20 to try calamari for the first time. She accepted. Other times it was alligator, snake, a jar of pickle juice, sushi, raw oysters. Now, unfortunately, in our situation with my family, my kids are so adventurous and love trying new things that when he said, "Hey, who wants to go eat some oysters?" they all enthusiastically got ready. I realize now that if any of us had hesitated even a little bit, we probably would have made some money off the offer. At least we have some great memories. Well, during our conversation, it became really clear that my brother thinks that anyone will do just about anything for the right price. He shared an example of how someone had asked him to do something, but he didn't have time to do it. And they begged and pleaded with him. They offered him $40, then $60. When they offered him $100, he made time for it. As I sat there and listened to him, I tried to figure out a nice way to tell him that I didn't agree with his perspective. I mentioned to him that, of course, there are some things that he could pay me to do or try for the first time. But there are other things that no matter how much money he would offer, there is just no way I would ever do them. He said, "If I offered you $1 million to do something, you're saying you would say no?" My first example was commit adultery. I told him there's no amount of money he could offer me to be unfaithful to my husband. He mentioned not even for $40 million, and I said, "No, it's only money." He said, "So, okay, let's just throw out $400 million, and you're saying your answer would still be no?" I said my answer would be no. It's only money. He believed me. I told him I gave my word till death do us part. Being a person of integrity is really important to me. Honoring God in what I say and what I do is how I try to live my life every day. I told him another example that would be I would never get an abortion. There is no amount of money on this planet that you could pay me to have an abortion. He told me, "All right, I'm feeling you." And then he said he was proud of me, that he knew I was telling the truth, that I was a person of substance, and that I lived by a moral standard. He really liked that. He believed in it. And he said he was even willing to reconsider his perspective, that what I had to offer him made him realize that not everyone could be bought. As we talked about it further, we took the stakes and the cost to the highest level. The end-time church may be asked to renounce our belief in and devotion to Jesus. It may cost us our freedoms and our lives. Just like the persecuted church in other countries, there may be a day coming when America will be imprisoned, withheld supplies, and punished by death for being a follower of Christ. It is so important that we know where we stand in our convictions prior to being faced with temptation. When we have resolve, we can be unwavering in our faith. Just like Daniel, when he was told he couldn't pray to God anymore, he didn't waver at all. He knew he could be punished. He experienced what should have been an execution by hungry lions just for praying to God. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were thrown into a fiery furnace heated 7 times hotter than usual because they would not bow down to an idol image of King Nebuchadnezzar. Just because these men faithfully love God and live their lives being God pleasers instead of man pleasers, they could have been punished by death. Joseph would not sin against God nor his master, even when he was continually pursued by Potiphar's wife. He literally ran away from the temptation with his cloak pulled off by her. We need to be willing to live our lives for God every day. At some point, we may need to be willing to die for our faith as well. Jesus tells us in Luke 9:23, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me." In Philippians 1:21, Paul says, "For me, to live is Christ, and to die is gain." 1 Corinthians 10:13 tells us that no temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will provide a way out so you can endure it. One thing that helps us when we face temptation is what we determine is right and wrong before we find ourselves having to decide what we will or will not do. We need to know what honors God ahead of time, so we are not deceived by the devil. The devil is a liar. He only can speak lies, and he has been really good at deceiving people in general and even God's children from the beginning. But when we know the word, we are given what we need to overcome sin, and better yet, not even partake in it. For revival to come and for Jesus to not delay His return, we need to be a holy and set-apart people that loves the world to Christ. The world needs the church to shine bright. We cannot be like the world. We can't talk, smell, or look like the world. We have to show them with our words and our deeds that Jesus is the better way and that we live for an audience of one. In Matthew chapter 24, Jesus warns us of what to expect in the end times as a sign of His second coming. He warns us to not be deceived. He prepares us for wars, famines, and earthquakes in our future. We will be persecuted and killed and hated by all nations because of Jesus' name. Jesus says that at that time, many will fall away and will betray one another and hate one another. Many false prophets will arise and will mislead many. Because of lawlessness or sin is increased, most people's love for Him will grow cold. But a very important conclusion is made by Jesus in verse 13. He says, "The one who endures to the end will be saved." A lot of the church today has a hard time living for the Lord under our current circumstances. We certainly are not ready to physically die for Him. We need to solidify our convictions and strengthen our backbone. Let us become the church that will endure to the end by overcoming sin, the schemes of the devil, and the future hardships with the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. May God help us to get rid of any idols, hidden or habitual sins, and everything and everyone that hinders us from living our lives for Him. Blessings to you on this journey. Love you.